Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak on this very special and really important pastime from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we are going to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Liva, chapter 12, and we will start from verse 71. And we'll read, basically we'll go through the whole pastime, and then at the end we will focus on a very nice verse with a very enlightening purport, where Srila Prabhupada is actually quoting explanation of this pastime from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So let's read the pastime. Text 21. I'll just read the English.
Yeah.
And then
Namru Prabhu, make him a co-host so that he can share. Otherwise, I can share. Which
yes,
chapter?
I have
Again?
Madhya Liva, 12th chapter, verse 71.
Okay.
If you can. Great. Okay. Yes, verse 71. So I'll just read the English of the verses, and then when we come to one important purport, then we'll read the Sanskrit of the verse. Text 71. In this way, the Lord passed some days in great jubilation. Then the car festival of Lord Jagannath approached. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first of all called for Kashi Mishra, then for the superintendent of the temple, then for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. When these three people came before the Lord, he begged them for permission to wash the temple known as Gundica. Upon hearing the Lord's request for permission to wash the Gundicha temple, the Padicha, the superintendent of the temple, said, "My dear sir, we are all your servants. Whatever you desire is our duty to perform." 75. The king gave a special order for me to do without delay whatever your lordship orders. My dear Lord, washing the temple is not service befitting to you. Nonetheless, if you wish to do so, it is to be accepted as one of your pastimes. To wash the temple, you need many water pots and brooms. Therefore, order me. I can immediately bring all these things to you. As soon as the superintendent understood the desire of the Lord, he immediately delivered 100 new water pots and 100 brooms for sweeping the temple. The next day, early in the morning, the Lord took his personal associates with him, and with his own hand smeared sandalwood pulp on their bodies. He then gave each devotee a broom with his own hand, and taking all of them personally with him, the Lord went to Gundicha. So this is an interesting point. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally gave service to the devotees. So we cannot start performing devotional service on our own. I decide, oh, let me just do devotional service. It's not like that. Devotional service is given from higher authority, from the spiritual master. Unless we get in connection with the real Guru Parampara, with the real representatives of Guru Parampara, we won't be able to perform bona fide devotional service. Of course, we can always do something and we will get some benefit, because getting in contact with Krishna, with Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes, it is always beneficial. But actually, to be properly engaged in devotional service according to Guru Parampara, or in other words, to be engaged in pure devotional service, you have to be empowered. You have to take the service from a bona fide representative of Guru Parampara. So here Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is giving the service to the devotees. He is telling them what to do and empowering them. It is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita that one cannot spread the mission of the Lord, the chanting of the holy names, if he is not empowered. Krishna Shakti Vinanahe Tara Pravartana. Kalikalera Dharma, Krishna Nama Sankirtana, Krishna Shakti Vinanahe Tara Pravartana. In order one to be able to spread the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this age of Kali, he has to be especially empowered. Okay, so text 81. In this way, the Lord and his devotees went to cleanse the Gundica temple. At first, they cleaned the temple with the brooms. The Lord cleansed everything inside the temple very nicely, including the ceiling. He then took up the sitting place, Simhasana, cleansed it, and again put it in its original place. Thus the Lord and his companions cleansed and swept all the temple's buildings, big and small, and finally cleansed the area between the temple and the Krishna home. Indeed, hundreds of devotees were engaged in cleansing all around the temple, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally carrying out the operation just to instruct them. So this is also very important lesson for us. If we are in a position of being a leaders, we have to lead by showing personal example. Then people will be inspired to follow. If we're just giving orders, saying you have to do this, you have to do that, but we are not doing it, people, at some point, they will become disappointed. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, knowing that he is a special avatar to come to teach us how to perform devotional service, the Supreme Lord who came as his devotee, here in this situation, he is personally doing it, personally showing to the devotees, so that they can become inspired and follow his example. Text 85. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu washed and cleaned the temple in great jubilation, chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna all the time. Similarly, all the devotees were also chanting and at the same time performing their respective duties. So it is not that devotees, they were only cleaning or they were only chanting the holy name, but they were doing both. They were chanting the holy names and at the same time they were performing their respective duties. And that was the vision of Srila Prabhupada for this ISKCON society. He did not put the stress simply just on chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Neither he put the stress only on work for Krishna. Rather, both at the same time. Srila Prabhupada said to the devotees that they have to be very strict in their sadhana. They have to chant prescribed number of rounds every day, minimum 16 rounds. But the rest of their time during the day, they have to engage it in all kinds of activities for spreading the Krishna consciousness movement. So both at the same time, we have to chant Hare Krishna and do things which are favorable for spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. Or if we are in a position that we have other obligations, other duties, we have to take care of those also. But the chanting of the holy name should be always there, should be always present. Text 86. The entire beautiful body of the Lord was covered with dust and dirt. In this way, it became transcendently beautiful. At times, when cleansing the temple, the Lord shed tears, and in some places, he even cleansed with those tears. After this, the place where the deity's foot was kept, Bogamandira, was cleansed. Then the yard was cleansed, and then all the residential quarters, one after the other. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu collected all the straw, dust, and grains of sand in one place, he gathered it all in his cloth and threw it outside. Following the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees in great jubilation began to gather straws and dust with their own clothes and throw them outside the temple. The Lord then told the devotees, I can tell how much you have labored and how well you have cleansed the temple simply by seeing all the straw and dust you have collected outside. Even though all the devotees collected dirt in one pile, the dirt collected by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was much greater. Haribo. So it is mentioned hundreds of devotees, they were collecting dust and straws. Hundreds of devotees are taking part in this cleaning of the Gundica temple. And still, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eagerness to render service, to clean the temple was so strong that actually he managed to collect more than everyone else taken together. That's also a very interesting point, because yes, we are trying to be a devotees, we are trying to follow this process of spiritual elevation of devotional service, and our spiritual masters also, they are also trying. And still, it is said, actually, there is only one person who is actually rendering devotional service to Krishna, and this is Srimati Radharani, or Krishna, who is taking the mood of Srimati Radharani, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the only one who can completely satisfy Krishna by his devotional service. And we are just assistants. We are just helping him. We are just helping Srimati Radharani to render some service to Krishna. And here, in this part of the pastimes, this is very much visible. How Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so much eager to render devotional service that he managed single-handedly to collect more garbage than everyone else. And in one of the previous verses, it was also mentioned how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sometimes he would clean the floor with his tears. Out of love, tears will fall from his eyes, and he will use these tears actually as a water to clean the floor. So that was the level of devotion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As a depth and also as a quantity. So both as a quality and as a quantity, he was much, much above all the other Vaishnavas, all of them taken together. This is the purity and the power of devotional service of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Shrimati Radharani to Krishna. Text 92. After the inside of the temple was cleansed, the Lord again allotted areas for the devotees to cleanse. The Lord then ordered everyone to cleanse the inside of the temple very perfectly by taking finer dust, straws, and grains of sand and throwing them outside. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the Vaishnavas cleansed the temple for the second time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy to see the cleansing work. While the temple was being swept, about 100 men stood ready with filled water pots, and they simply awaited the Lord's order to throw the water from them. As soon as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called for water, all the men immediately brought the 100 water pots, which were completely filled, and delivered them before the Lord. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first washed the main temple and then thoroughly washed the ceiling, the walls, the floor, the sitting place, Simhasana, and everything else within the room. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself and his devotees began to throw water onto the ceiling. When this water fell, it washed the walls and the floor. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to wash the sitting place of Lord Jagannath with his own hands, and all the devotees began to bring water to the Lord. All the devotees within the temple began to wash. Each one had a broom in his hand, and in this way they cleansed the temple of the Lord. Some brought water to pour into the hands of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and someone poured water on his lotus feet. So while Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was completely absorbed in his internal mood of devotion and he was externally cleaning the place, some of the devotees took the opportunity and throw some water to make Abhishek of the lotus feet of the Lord. He was so immersed in his devotional service that he did not actually pay attention, did not notice this. Then a little later we will read about an accident where he actually found out what's happening. And externally he became a little bit angry. Text 102. The water that fell from the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was drunk by someone who hit himself. Someone else begged for that water, and another person was giving that water in charity. After the room was washed, the water was let out through an outlet, and it then flowed and filled the yard outside. The Lord mopped the rooms with his own clothes, and he polished the throne with them also. In this way, all the rooms were cleansed with 100 water pots. After the rooms had been cleansed, the mind of the devotees were as clean as the rooms. This is also an important point. This is actually very important part of our philosophy, how many times we have heard from the devotees. I mean, I heard many times from the devotees when I came to Krishna consciousness. They told me to clean the temple of the Lord or to wash the pots of the Lord in his kitchen is not an ordinary activity. Like if we go outside in the world, these kind of activities, they'll be considered very like low activities. Generally, people, they don't want to engage in them. But when it comes to performing these things in the temple of the Lord, actually, this is a great opportunity for spiritual advancement. Why? Because so many times we have heard from the devotees, to clean the floor of the temple means to clean your heart. And here is the proof from Shastra. When the devotees engage externally in cleaning the temple of the Lord, actually their hearts became as clean as the rooms. It's a very practical point. You just go and you do some practical devotional service for Krishna, and proportionately your heart will become purified. Your heart will become cleansed from all kinds of contaminations. Many times we choose our devotional service. Some authority comes to us and tells us, "Oh, Prabhu, we need to do this devotional service. We need to do that," and we say, "Oh, Prabhuji, I have particular likings for simply dressing the deities, or giving a class, giving a Bhagavatam class." But this is not right, actually. This is not proper. Why? Because devotional service has an absolute character, meaning purification will be always there. It doesn't matter if we are cleaning the floor, if we are giving Shrimad Bhagavatam, if we are washing the pots in the Krishna's kitchen, we'll get the same amount of purification. So we should not discriminate, we should not differentiate between these different kinds of services. Devotional service is absolute, and the purification from devotional service is also absolute. Like Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna gave him devotional service, Krishna told him, "Okay, Arjuna, I'm giving you devotional service. You have to fight for my pleasure." And then Arjuna said to Krishna, "Oh, my dear Krishna, why you want to engage me in this ghastly devotional service, in this ghastly work?" So then, after Krishna speaking the whole message of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna came to this conclusion that, wait a minute, devotional service or action performed for the pleasure of Krishna is absolute. Meaning, if Krishna wants me to fight, I have to fight. If Krishna wants me to perform other kinds of devotional service, chant his holy name, I have to chant his holy name. If Krishna wants me to clean, I have to clean. And it's bringing the same benefit. So, in a sense, it's natural that in the beginning of our spiritual life, we will, as they say, we'll pick and choose in spiritual life. We'll pick and choose. We'll say, "Yeah, I want to do this. No, I don't want to do that. Yes, Prabhu, please give me the Mahasweets. I want the Mahasweets. I want the Burfi. I want the Sandesh. No, I don't want this chutney. This chutney is too spicy for me. I don't want the chutney. I want only the sweet." So it's natural that in the beginning we'll be acting in this way. But gradually, with our advancement in devotional life, we have to come to the idea that no, when I get some kind of devotional service, it doesn't matter what kind of devotional service, it's a blessing, it's a grace, and we have to take it immediately while we have the opportunity, because we never know. Now we are very lucky. Now we can go and see the devotees. Now we can go to the temple. Now we can perform some devotional service, but we never know what will happen in our life. We don't know if tomorrow we will be able to go to see the devotees, to perform some devotional service. We don't know. So we should not take this opportunity as just something which is absolute reality. Well, yes, it's not granted thing. Today we have it, tomorrow we may not have it. So while we are having it, we really have to.
म्यूट कर दो बस ठीक है आप सुनाओ क्या हाल है
Yes, we really have to cherish this opportunity. We really have to be uh, very eager to get any opportunity to do something for Krishna, any opportunity to do something for the Lord. And then we'll see our hearts, they will become pure, as clean as the rooms that we are cleaning. I was studying in Mayapur Academy, and at the end we had exams. Of course, we had the exams as dressing the deities, performing different kinds of puja. But also one part of our exam was very interesting. Everyone should choose a pot from the kitchen and make it completely clean. And then after that, directly the director of the deity worship for Ho ISKCON, Narsimha Kavacha Prabhu, the minister, he'll come and he'll give us a mark. And he said, I'll give you a mark for two things. What kind of pot you have chosen and how much you cleaned it. So both are important. Because someone may take a pot which is actually very clean and say, oh, you see, I did the job. No, it's not like that. So he said, both I will take in consideration. How dirty pot you choose and how clean you make it at the end. So it was actually very nice practical exercise for us. And yeah, at some point you are scrubbing, and you're telling to yourself, I think that's too much. I mean, it's already clean enough, but still, actually, you can see that there are places that they are not cleaned, and actually, you have to continue. So it's actually a really good exercise. Good exercise for cleaning the heart. Take a pot of Krishna from his kitchen, choose the dirtiest one, and try to make it spotlessly shining. And if we are successful in this, that means actually we will be also successful to clean our heart, because the principle is the same. The principle is the same. You have to scrub until all the dirtiness comes out and our heart becomes completely pure, clean. Okay, so let's continue. Text 106. When the temple was cleansed, it was purified, cool, and pleasing, just as if the Lord's own pure mind had appeared. Since hundreds of men were engaged in bringing water from the lake, there was no place to stand on the banks. Consequently, someone began to draw water from a well. Hundreds of devotees brought water in the pots, and hundreds took the empty pots away to fill them up again. With the exception of Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Swarup Damodar, Brahmananda Bharati, and Paramananda Puri, everyone was engaged in filling the water pots and bringing them there. Many of the water pots were broken when people collided with one another, and hundreds of men had to bring new water pots to fill. Some people were filling the pots and others were washing the rooms, but everyone was engaged in chanting the holy name of Krishna and Hari. Hari, Hari. One person begged for a water pot by chanting the holy name Krishna, Krishna, and another delivered a pot while chanting Krishna, Krishna. Whenever anyone had to speak, he did so by uttering the holy name of Krishna. Consequently, the holy name of Krishna became an indication for everyone who wanted something. This is also a very important moment. like generally when you want to express something, you have to state it, because otherwise others won't understand what do you mean. And here somehow all the devotees, they were on such a transcendental platform that just by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Krishna from inside gave them intelligence to understand actually what's happening, what they have to do. So it's very interesting how if someone is completely on a transcendental platform, Krishna will give him the intelligence to understand everything that he has to know. So Krishna is always next to us, and if we are pure, if we are good instruments in his hands, he will let us know what we have to do. And if something is not enough, if we lack intelligence or if we lack skills, he'll provide everything. Whatever we need, he'll provide so that we can perform certain service for him, for his pleasure. Like in the case of Arjuna, Arjuna had to fight in this great war. I mean, so many mighty warriors were present there, including Drona and Bhishma, which were known as unconquerable. Nobody could ever stay in front of them. And still, at the end, Arjuna was victorious. How? By the mercy of Krishna. Krishna supplied him with everything necessary so that he can perform his devotional service. And then later we have description in Srimad Bhagavatam how the same Arjuna was there. Arjuna himself, he's describing this situation. And he's saying, I was there with the queens of Krishna and I had to protect them. And I was the same Arjuna with the same Bogan Diva. I have the same abilities. And somehow I lost from just a bunch of coward men. The same great warrior that nobody could conquer before that, now I was conquered by these ordinary people, ordinary coward men. So it shows how if Krishna is not on our side, if Krishna is not supporting us, on our own we cannot do much. And if Krishna is supporting us, then nothing will lack in our life, in our devotional life. Krishna will take care of us. Krishna will give us everything. And just by chanting the holy name, it will be clear what we have to do. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. Text 113. Whenever anyone had to speak, he did so by uttering the holy name of Krishna. Consequently, the holy name of Krishna became an indication for everyone who wanted something. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was vibrating the holy name of Krishna in ecstatic love, he himself was performing the work of hundreds of men. It appears as though Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were cleansing and washing with 100 hands. He approached every devotee just to teach him how to work. When he saw someone doing nicely, the Lord praised him. But if he saw that someone was not working to his satisfaction, he immediately chastised that person, not bearing him any grudge. The Lord would say, "You have done well. Please teach this to others so that they may act in the same way." So, in a very interesting way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu corrected the devotee. He was not directly scolding him, but rather he was speaking in such a way that apparently he was glorifying him, but the devotee, feeling that he did not do very well, immediately understood, oh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not happy with me. So let me immediately increase my performance, better my performance. As soon as they heard Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say this, everyone became ashamed. Thus the devotees began to work with great attention. They washed the Jagamohana area and then the place where food was kept. All other places were also washed. In this way, the meeting place was washed, entire yard, the raised sitting places, the kitchen, and every other room. Thus, all places around the temple were thoroughly washed, within and without. After everything was thoroughly washed, a Vaishnava from Bengal, who was very intelligent and simple, came and poured water on the lotus feet of the Lord. The Gaudiya Vaishnava then took the water and drank it himself, seeing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt a little unhappy and was also outwardly angry. Although the Lord was certainly satisfied with him, he became angry externally in order to establish the etiquette of religious principles. The Lord then called for Swarup Damodar and told him, "Just see the behavior of your Bengali Vaishnava." Here we have a nice purport of Srila Prabhupada. Oh, maybe next verse. Okay, next verse. This person from Bengal has washed my feet within the temple of the personality of Godhead. Not only that, but he has drunk the water himself. I know, I know, I now do not know what my destination is because of this offense. Indeed, your Bengali Vaishnava has greatly implicated me. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is significant that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Swarup Damodar Goswami that the Bengali Vaishnava was your Gaudiya Vaishnava. This means that all Gaudiya Vaishnavas who are followers of the Chaitanya code are subordinate to Swarup Damodar Goswami. The Parampara system is very strictly observed by Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal secretary was Swarup Damodar Goswami. The next group of devotees was the six Goswamis, then Kaviraj Goswami. It is necessary to observe the Parampara system of the Chaitanya cult. There are many offenses one can commit while serving the Lord, and these are described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Hari Bhakti Vilas, and other books. According to the rules and regulations, no one should accept obeisances in the temple of the Lord before the deity, nor is it proper for a devotee to offer obeisances and touch the feet of the spiritual master before the deity. This is considered an offense. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was personally the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, it was not actually offensive to wash his lotus feet in the temple. However, because he was playing the part of an acharya, the Lord considered himself an ordinary human being. He also wanted to give instruction to ordinary human beings. The point is that even though one plays the part of a spiritual master, he should not accept obeisances or permit a disciple to wash his feet before the deity. This is a matter of etiquette. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining that we have a certain rules and regulations how we have to deal, especially in the temple, especially in front of the deities. These are the different rules of Pancharatriki system, and they should be observed. Why? The idea is to fix in our consciousness that once we are in the temple of the Lord is the center, and everyone else is a servant. And even if the spiritual master who is taking extremely important position, and practically Shastra is saying Sakshat Dari is not different from Krishna, still he doesn't want to be worshipped in front of the Supreme Lord. Yes, the spiritual master should accept the service from his disciples and sometimes his worship from his disciples. He's doing this not for his own benefit. He's doing this to give opportunity for his disciples to become purified and to make spiritual advancement. However, when he is present in the temple, he is not eager to accept his service. Rather, he wants to see that the Lord is worshipped. So that's why generally when we are present in the temple, we won't offer our obeisances to the other Vaishnavas or to spiritual master if the altar is open. If the altar is closed, then yes, then we can offer our obeisances to great Vaishnavas like Tulasi Maharani, or worship the spiritual master, or offer our obeisances and even worship the other Vaishnavas because they are worshipable. Vaishnavas are worshipable. They are part of the absolute truth, Pancha Tattva. We have the Supreme Lord, his direct expansions, his avatars, his energies, and the pure devotee is also there, represented as Shiva's Thakur, Narada Muni. A pure devotee is also there and he is also worshipable. So if the altar is closed, then we can do that. Generally, this is the Vaishnava etiquette. We have one exception, and this exception is the Guru Puja of Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, but Srila Prabhupada is not a guru.
Srila Prabhupada is not a guru. Yes.
I mean, he's not ordinary guru. He's the Samstapakacharya.
Pandava Prabhu is also here, and he's adding that Srila Prabhupada is not just ordinary guru. He is Samstapaka Acharya. So his position is very, very special.
The founder of the Sampradaya.
Yes, the founder of the Sampradaya, the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. Okay. So next verse. At this point, Swarup Damodar Goswami caught the Gaudiya Vaishnava by the neck. That's very funny. And giving him a little push, ejected him from the Gundica Puri temple and made him stay outside. Very funny how devotees sometimes they act in an interesting way. After Swarup Damodar Goswami returned within the temple, he requested Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to excuse that innocent person. After this incident, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very satisfied. He then asked all the devotees to sit down in two lines on both sides. The Lord then personally sat down in the middle and picked up all kinds of straw, grains of sand, and dirty things. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was picking up the straws and grains of sand, he said, I shall gather everyone's collection and I shall ask whatever has collected less than all the others to pay a fine of sweet cakes and sweet rice. In other words, let's have a competition. And whoever is the last one, he'll have to feed everybody else. That was the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this way, all the quarters of Gundicha temple were completely cleansed and cleared. All quarters were cool and spotless, like one's cleansed and pacified mind. When the water from the different rooms was finally let out through the hose, it appeared as if new rivers were rushing out to meet the waters of the ocean. And this is a verse with a very nice purport. 135. Ei mata puradvara age patayata sakala sudilataha Kevarni Bekata. Outside the gateway of the temple, all the roads were also cleansed, and no one could tell exactly how this was done. Purport. In connection on the cleansing of the Gundicha temple, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the world leader, was personally giving instructions on how one should receive Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, within one's cleansed and pacified heart. If one wants to see Krishna seated in his heart, he must first cleanse the heart, as prescribed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshashtaka, Chetodarpana Marjanam. In this age, everyone's heart is especially unclean, as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Hridi antastohi abhadrani. To wash away all dirty things accumulated within the heart, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised everyone to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. The first result will be that the heart is cleansed. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam 1-17 confirms this statement. Shrinvatam Svakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridi Antasto Hi Abhadrani Vidunoti Suhrit Satam. Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma Super Soul in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who relishes his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. If a devotee at all wants to cleanse his heart, he must chant and hear the glories of the Lord. Shri Krishna, Shrinvatam Svakata Krishna. This is a simple process. Krishna himself will help cleanse the heart because he is already seated there. Krishna wants to continue living within the heart, and the Lords want to give directions. But one has to keep his heart as clean as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept the Gundicha temple. The devotee therefore has to cleanse his heart just as the Lord cleansed the Gundicha temple. In this way, one can be pacified and enriched in devotional service. If the heart is filled with straw, grains, and sand, weeds, or dust, in other words, anya bilashita purna, one cannot enthrone the Supreme Personality of Godhead there. The heart must be cleansed of all material motives brought about through fruitive work, speculative knowledge, mystic yoga system, and so many other forms of so-called meditation. The heart must be cleansed without ulterior motive. As Sri Rupa Goswami says, Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam. In other words, there should not be any external motive. One should not attempt material upliftment, understanding the Supreme by speculative knowledge, fruitive activity, severe austerity, and penance, and so on. All these activities are against the natural growth of spontaneous love of Godhead. As soon as these are present within the heart should be understood to be unclean and therefore unfit to serve as Krishna's sitting place. We cannot perceive the Lord's presence in our heart unless our hearts are cleansed. A material desire is explained as a desire to enjoy the material world to its fullest extent. In modern language, this is called economical development. Okay, so Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada, they explain how Krishna wants to come and sit down in our heart and be constantly present there. But first, the heart should be cleansed. And this is what this pastime of Gundica Marjana is actually showing us. How we have to be very enthusiastic, very eager, very determined, and very detailed in our cleaning of our temple, which is our heart. And then Krishna, he will be inspired to come and sit there. And it was explained that we have to purify our motivation. So why I'm performing devotional service? What's my goal? Am I doing it to satisfy Krishna? Am I doing it to satisfy my material desires? Am I doing it because I want to become free from material existence and just got liberation and got peace and no problems and anxieties in my life? What is my motivation? Why I'm approaching Krishna? Am I approaching Krishna for the sake of relationship? Or am I approaching Krishna to use him to fulfill my desires, whatever they are, material desires or desires for liberation? So this is very important moment. We have to gradually, in our spiritual life, analyze ourselves. Why we are performing devotional service? What is our motivation? And in this way, gradually, completely purify our heart. And like in the beginning of this pastime, the cleaning started with cleaning the gross things, like the straws, the stones. And similarly, in our spiritual life, in the beginning, we start in the same way. We start with the gross stuff. We had so many bad habits in our life, sinful activities. So we are trying to throw this out of our life. Some of us, of course, they are very, very fortunate. They hardly had sinful activities in their life. And these are great souls, and for them it's much easier to advance in spiritual life. Not all of us had this great fortune. Actually, in fact, we did many, many stupid things in our life. And still, in the beginning of our life, we are getting rid of all these contaminations. And then in the beginning, I mean, it's not so important with what kind of motivation we are serving Krishna. It's more important just do the service, do something for Krishna. Even if your motivation is not completely pure, it doesn't matter. Even if you want something in return, it doesn't matter. Even if you want to get free from material problems and anxieties and you want liberation, it doesn't matter. Just do devotional service for Krishna. This is the most important. And then gradually, when our heart becomes purified from these gross contaminations, then the time will come when we have to check our motivation. Now, why I'm doing it? Okay, I'm serving Krishna, but why I'm serving Krishna? I want others to see that I'm the great devotee, I'm very learned, I'm very advanced, I'm very austere, I'm very special. Is this my motivation? Or I want some material profit out of it? What is my motivation? Why I'm serving Krishna? And then gradually we have to purify also this heart, the subtle part of our heart. And then Krishna, he'll be very, very happy to come and sit there. So here especially, it was mentioned the desire for economic development. A material desire is explained as a desire to enjoy the material world to its fullest extent. In modern language, this is called economic development. So it's normal that we have some economic development in our life because we have to survive. But then gradually, if we are like devotees who are practicing already, let's say 15 years, 20 years, 30 years Krishna consciousness, at some point we have to think, okay, how much actually do I need to survive in my life? How much economically I need so that I can perform my devotional service and I have a peaceful material situation. And then we should try to go with this. As Srila Prabhupada said many times, simple living and higher thinking. This is the way how we have to live in our spiritual life. So it's a food for thought to think about it. How much actually do we need materially? And let's minimize our material needs and let's give privilege to Krishna, to activities in Krishna consciousness. And then we'll see a big change in our connection with Krishna. We'll see how Krishna is reciprocating and he's manifesting more and more and more in our life. He's reciprocating our endeavors. An inordinate desire for economic development is considered to be like straws and grains of sand within the heart. If one is overly engaged in material activity, the heart will always remain disturbed. As stated by Narottam Das Thakur, samsara vishanale diva nishihiya jvale, judaite na kainu upaya. In other words, endeavor for material opulence is against the principle of devotional service. Material enjoyment includes activities such as great sacrifices for auspicious activity, charity, austerity, elevation to the higher planetary systems, and even living happily within the material world. It's actually a very long purport, and it's 9 o'clock. So I don't want to keep you, dear devotees, over time. But it will be very nice if you find a little bit time during the day and go through the rest of this purport, because it's actually very, very important purport, and it actually can help us to analyze ourselves. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that it's very good for a Vaishnava periodically, on a regular basis, to analyze his spiritual advancement, let's say every Ekadashi, to take another 15 minutes, 20 minutes from our time and analyze ourselves. Where was I before in my spiritual life and where I am now? And did I manage to make some spiritual progress? And if you're doing this regularly, this will help us actually to make spiritual progress, because it's very, very helpful. So please, if you have a little bit more time today, go through this purport. And even if you have devotees close to you, discuss it with these devotees, and you will be able to get lots of jewels from this purport, lots of things that will help you in spiritual life. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for your kind attention. Krishnama Ananda Prabhu, I think we have to stop here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you, and hope to see you again soon,
Yes.
online or in person.
Panchakal Yeah.
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Gaura Prem.
You can also close because less time for question already 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Yes.
See you at the New York Radhayatra, Prabhus. We both
Yes,
will be there.
we are waiting for you. Hare Krishna.
We will meet you and then we'll bring your books. Please bring your books.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll have the books there on the Bhakti tent. We'll
Okay.
have a special tent on the Bhakti school, Japa meditation Bhakti school, and we'll be there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So please join today evening for a special seminar by His Grace Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, Tolerance in Reversals in Life. So, which is 5 o'clock today, 5 to 7:30 will be the time. Happy Ekadasi, fasting from grains and beans. If you like, you can try as a trial run for next Pandava Nirjala Ekadasi, which is 17th Monday. So you can try that today, so that you can see if you can do it. Yeah, it's not easy. If you are not practiced, this life is meant for that. Prabhupada repeatedly says Canto 6 regularly. Pretty much every class of Canto 6. Tapasa, regularly. So,
Okay.
yeah. Today evening, Sunday feast, and then tomorrow Parna time. Let me check the Parna time.
It's 5:26.
Yeah, it is early.
I think it is 5:26 to 10 something.
Yeah. And New York Radhayatra parade starts at 11 a.m. intersection of 5th Avenue, East 45th Street, ends at West 8th Street, 1 p.m. Our bus, if you reserve for bus, there's a waiting list. Please send message to Sankarshan Prabhu as we posted. Then he will let you know. That is that. Bus will start at 9 o'clock or so at the temple. Please come sharp. Parna time is 5:25 a.m. to 10:27 a.m. tomorrow morning. No, sorry, that's for the 17th. 5:26 to 10:25 a.m. That's tomorrow. And also Vrindavan Das Thakur's appearance day. And then June 22nd, Saturday, is Lord Jagannath's birthday is coming up. And yeah, in the Atlantic City Radhayatra, June 29th, a lot of services are there. Please help us. Book distribution, prasadam serving, Haricharan Prabhu, Parmana Chaitanya Prabhu, book distribution, cooking, Jaiprakash Prabhu. Please help us. Cooking will start 4:30 a.m. I guess day before also we may have some things. We have to clean our Cambrios, which will come soon from Philadelphia. So those are the upcoming events and services. Please let us know how you can help us. Thank you very much for your association and time. Govindas is on. If you like to avail Ekadasi Prasadam, contact us, govindasnj.com. You can place your orders. See you all in the evening. Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Radhe
Ekadasi ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.